Welcome, everybody. Hello. Welcome back to A Certain Point of View. We are live here on a Monday evening. -1 this week. She is quite busy at work, working some 12s, but she'll be back next week. For audio listeners, I'm talking about Jill. Excuse me. Hope everyone's week was starting off pretty good here with a Monday. We obviously have a very controversial, fun, interesting topic to talk about tonight that's going to cause any chaos whatsoever. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. But let's go ahead and see how Molly and Brian are doing. Molly, I'll start with you. How was your Monday?
Monday's been good. A oddly productive Monday for me. Normally I'm kind of like slugging around the house on Mondays, but I finally got all the Christmas stuff put up. I got my new desk set up. My office was in shambles yesterday, but it's clean now. So yeah, got a lot done today.
I'm super jealous of the standing desk. I've been wanting one in my garage for so long.
It's nice. It's nice. But I do think Hilo is going to learn how to lower it in order to still reach whatever food might be up here.
Can't wait to see it. Cannot wait to see it. Brian, how was your Monday, man? It's according to Twitter, you had quite the day with your 7th graders.
It's an everyday thing that's driving me nuts, and especially this one kid every single day. And yeah, it's driving me nuts. If I have to hear that name in my classroom one more time, I'm going to go insane. You'd be surprised.
Why do kids like Andrew Tate? I know that's a big question.
Because they think he's like just so cool because he's got all his money and he talks mean towards people, and he supposedly calls himself the alpha male or something like that. I don't know. And it's the things that they say is just horrifying because they're just like and he could say anything and they'll be like, "Yup." And it's like you have no idea. Like, I mean, they're like, yeah, he got set up to go to prison, and I'm like,
they just pay attention to what's on TikTok. That's all they do.
Yeah,
that's all they do.
No, they're just
that's depressing.
I know, and it just makes me mad because it's like they have no idea, and then us gays and the drag queens we're the ones that are influencing them, but.
Yeah.
Not this guy over here who's basically saying, like, if your woman steps out of line, hit her. Like, it's just like, it's very frustrating.
There's a reason why he doesn't live in the U.S. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. So it's just, dealing with that.
Well, other than that, how was your day, Brian? You okay?
Fine. Nothing crazy. I had to break up a fight on Friday.
Ooh.
That was interesting.
Ooh.
With one of it was literally like I don't have favorites, but someone that I liked. And I was just like, really? Really? Right outside my classroom? Really?
Have you ever gotten hit in the face by trying to break up a fight?
Absolutely. In fact, the best one is when I was a substitute, my very first year. I went to the 12th grade class and was just minding my own business. And this girl was stapling her paper behind me at the teacher desk. And this 11th grade girl walks in and was like, "Where is that bitch? Blah, 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 blah." I'm like, what the hell? And she's standing literally right behind me. And the girl just walks up and just goes, boom, boom, and just starts throwing blows.
I love it.
She's hitting me. And the girl is sitting behind me. The girl is sitting behind me just doing this with her stapler. And I'm literally going, "You are hitting me. You are fighting me right now." And she's like, I'm gonna get her. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like,
they should give teachers tasers. Taser guns.
Some schools have guns literally now.
Not real guns, taser guns. Every kid needs to be tased
Brian
at least once.
I would pay money to see Brian break up a fight if I'm being honest. That would be not to say that it's a good thing, but I would enjoy it.
I've done it at least 5 times at the school since I've been there. It's at least.
I mean, look at the school that you're at, Brian.
On a cattle prod. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, it's wild. It's never a dull.
Alan points something out. You could have just grabbed the stapler, Brian.
No, because I would have had to turn around and I would have given her the back of me, and she would have clocked me back of the head. So the best part is the one on Friday. It made me laugh so hard. Is in the video, I'm walking back to my class, and like it's going on, and I'm like yelling at a kid on the side, like joking, like saying hi and whatever. I'm like, get to class, and they're like, it's lunchtime, and I'm like, I'm playing and joking around, and the whole entire fight is happening like 4 or 5 feet away from me. And I'm just like, no, you go back to, and like, so I'm just playing with this kid, and this whole thing is going on behind me. And then one of the kids just turns around and goes, Mr. Lee, pay attention, there's a fight happening behind you. And I'm like, what? And I just like run over there, and I'm like, stop. But in the video, I'm just like, you. And it's just like right behind me, and I have no idea. So I'm just like, oh my God. So let's not release that one. But it's always an interesting day.
What a fun life.
I know. Right?
Jumping back to the whole Andrew Tate thing, Vapion here has a comment. I just asked my niece if she knew who Andrew Tate was. Her response was, "Yeah, he not cool, bro."
Oh, I'm sure girls are smarter than him.
That is, it's funny. I will say this about that: if a girl,
we need this video, Brian.
No, I can't. I have it. No, I don't.
You have to blur out all the kids' faces.
100%. Yeah. It's funny though. The girls are absolutely like, they will shut it down. They
know what it means. That's why they know.
Exactly.
They know. Yeah,
that's nice at least, because the girls aren't stupid, and they're not going to let the boys treat them like how he's saying to treat them. So like the boys will say something, and the girls immediately are like, "You're a moron," and they're just like, "No, bro, it's this." They're like, "You're an idiot." Like they will just shut them down. The girls are ruthless. So at least they're aware of it. And so it's like they can't get one pulled over by this nonsense. So Gordon, good for you. I wish I didn't know who this.
Well, unfortunately, I think the Andrew Tate thing is more towards the younger generation.
Yeah, I didn't know who it was either for a long time. I think I just like when all the stuff happened with what's her name calling him out, and then the whole pizza box situation. That's when I was like, wait, who is this? And then I did some research.
That was the greatest burn of all time.
What an idiot.
She not only did he try to flex on her, she came back at him, and he tried to flex on her again after he got annihilated. But when he did it, he ended up tipping off the police where he was, so he got arrested. And she just sat back and was just like, see ya.
I guess being an alpha male just really sucks down the brain cells. Like,
so good. So good. I know that I literally had that argument with a kid today. He was like, you wouldn't have got caught ever. Well, they had to find pizza in order to. So no, he's dumb enough that he ordered a pizza with the name of the thing right in front of it, and that's why he got in trouble. He's like, no, and I'm like, yeah. So,
yeah, alpha males apparently they take away a couple of the brain cells along with it. So, I want to bring up this comment from Laserbolt before we kind of get going here. I tended a bar for 20 years, and I've never seen something as brutally out of control as a girl fight. I would break up two guys without even a thought, but when women fight, get out of the way.
Mind you, I didn't tell you the fight on Friday was a girl and a boy, and the boy got his ass kicked.
Well,
I mean, like sometimes there's a point where like if you're a smart guy, you're not gonna. If you hit a girl, especially in a school fight, like you're donezo. You're donezo.
Well, she had like Catwoman nails.
Yeah, so I was gonna say there's a lot of scratching and hair pulling.
he might not even be there this week because his face is so messed up that the parents are going to keep him home. I'll put it that way.
Jesus.
But I will not step in between a girl fight because they will annihilate me. I don't want.
Come on, Brian.
By all means, come to school and get in between one of them, because one time my friend that I work with, who's the dean, they pushed him down the stairs to keep fighting. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Love it.
The girls
Jake,
don't
you'd have to
play.
bring your shield and use that.
Yeah,
to
I got
hold
2 of
them
them.
up.
I got 2 of
Oh
them.
my god. The girls are terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
One of them would leave. They would leave vibranium scratches like Black Panther does, and
Kurt.
yeah, yeah. Brian works at the Cobra Kai High School. Yeah,
They
yeah.
actually all love that show, so it's probably a negative that's coming out. But yeah, no, it's wild out there. Wild. It's definitely entertaining though. You're never bored. That's for sure.
They keep you on your toes.
Toes, everything. You can't have your back turned. My desk is literally in a corner facing everyone that way. So yeah. Now you
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get this show on the roll. Let's just start with the big topic that we've been waiting to talk about all day long. This article, which I just found out before we started, was from a year ago. Molly, I think you said.
I
September.
clicked on the actual article. It's from September of last year.
So just about 6 months ago. So Screen Rant tweeted out an article. I believe it was yesterday. And they essentially changed the graphics, updated some stuff, reposted it, but it caught the attention of us, and we obviously need to talk about this. So basically what this is they ranked 30 Jedi from Star Wars, ranked from weakest to most powerful.
Wait, they ranked 30 of them?
So if you click on the article,
I
there's
only
actually
saw the
30
10.
of them.
Yeah, they
No,
only put 10 on the graphic.
Yeah, the graphic has 10, but there's
me.
actually 30 in the article. Let me go ahead and bring up the graphic. We can just start here. Let's see. And then we can kind of get into the article and talk about maybe some that were left off or possibly where they should be ranked. Molly, you put it out there that you have some thoughts on this. So let me get to this. This is where it starts.
Real quick, I want to say the article is by Amanda. I don't know how to say her last name. Hurrick. So no shade to her for whatever we're about to say.
Facts. Good call. Okay, so this is where it starts. This is the top 10.
This was the shade.
This was the header image. This was the one tweeted out. Star Wars ranking the top 10 most powerful Jedi. So we have the 10 here. It starts out, and Jane gets an absolute win here. Luminara Indoli is on the list. She was putting out there on Twitter and the Discord. She gets a W. Number 9 goes to Kit Fisto. 8, Kiadi Mundi. 7, Anakin Skywalker. 6, Qui-Gon Jinn. 5, Mace Windu. 4, Obi-Wan Kenobi. 3, Rey. 2, Luke Skywalker. And 1, Yoda. Just the 10 alone is interesting, but there's obviously a couple names that you don't see from this list.
Can you send me the 30?
Yeah, I'll put it in the private chat. Let's keep in mind too that this ranking might fully be based off of like how much this person has watched. Obviously, maybe it's based on more live action than animation. Certain characters appearing more. Like, we don't know the actual stipulations on how this was ranked, but taking it as is, are these the 10 most powerful Jedi in Star Wars?
I want to bring up Andy's comment. He says, I'm more shocked that y'all are looking at Screen Rant bullshit. Well,
yes, Andy, that's correct.
This is a very Screen Rant thing to do.
Yes.
But this kind of thing comes up all the time in fandom. Who would win in a fight? Who's more powerful? Blah, blah, blah. So that's why we wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I still follow Screen Rant on Twitter, just to see some of the stuff they post, because they do have some interviews and stuff sometimes. I learned a long time ago, and Brian can back me up with this. I told him when we were writing on the Apocalypse website, don't ever follow screen rate. But I'm interested in stuff like this, particularly. So it creates a good conversation. It creates a very good and interesting conversation.
They do have animated people in here, so
they do. And
They've
there's
got
obviously
one Legends person in there, and it is like why pick that? Why?
I love that they chose to use a animated version of Mace Windu for their picture, like because Samuel L. Jackson was just not around.
We don't get to see him do as much while we saw him in live action as what you get to see in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And then the comics, especially, Mace kicks a lot of ass.
There's so many interesting choices in this as far as like where they're placed and how often we've actually seen these people. Does anybody want to start with a specific character, or do we want to start with the top 10? I mean, where's everyone's kind of head at the moment?
The fact that Ahsoka is not even in the top 10 is
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that
criminal.
So hold on, 11, 12, 13, 14. She's ranked 15th out of 30. 15. Are you joking me? So if I go through the top 10, and look, I know that I obviously have a little bit of a biased opinion here. She's my girl. But I would put her above Luminara, Kid Fisto, Kiadi. I would put her again over Qui-Gon, Mace, and Rey. I would not put her over Anakin. I would not put her over Obi-Wan, Luke, or Yoda, personally. We're talking about powerful wise, not like technique or as a Jedi as a whole. If we're going just off of the sheer ability as power, I think she can overtake everybody but Yoda, Luke, Obi-Wan, and Anakin.
That's the thing. I'll try not to harp on this too much because it makes what we're talking about not fun. But ranking Jedi based on their power that's not what a Jedi is supposed to be. Like it's not. That's not what makes a good Jedi. Balance in the Force. Power has nothing to do with it.
If we're ranking it via that, Ahsoka's number 1 in my opinion. Sorry, like
that's
she's
what I was gonna
one.
say. If we're not going off of power and just overall,
like the greatest Jedi to ever live, in my opinion, Ahsoka Tano, no question.
Probably, yeah.
I do. I mean, I was reading through some of these little excerpts that they have on the website, and it doesn't really explain why they've ranked them in this order, but I mean Yoda is so old. He gets
there he is.
He had to find his way in here.
There he had
to find his way in here. Here we go.
Zach's got to come in repping his boy. So
Yoda
has seniority, right? He's the like oldest of the bunch, and so he is like the most disciplined and just has had the most experience. So I'll give them him for the top spot.
Excuse me, but
I didn't know that he could do that.
Breathe and fight underwater. I mean,
you
have a point.
He also invented something to allow lightsabers to work underwater. So he's super smart.
Zach definitely does have a point when it comes to Kid Fisto. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Kid's in top 10 though. Like you won at this point. He's in the top 10.
That smile gets him at least top 5 for me. No, I'm kidding.
And that's another one I want to bring up, Sean. I'll bring that up here in a little bit, but I want to get to a big one that everyone was kind of talking about when the list came out is Anakin at 7. If we're talking about pure power, I mean, if we're talking about just the ability and the powerful ability of a Jedi, I think Anakin's 1. I mean, he's freaking Vader, turns into Vader. Like,
just the if you watch the Mortis arc alone in Clone Wars, that should tell you that if we're talking about power, he's pretty far up there.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they were going to put him in charge of keeping those characters like on track in Mortis. So like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's hard when you're ranking them because there's so many like great
there's so many
Jedi.
different. Well, that and there's so many layers to it. Like,
Yeah. Like, what do you
like
consider power for a Jedi?
exactly.
Everyone's
I mean,
definition is different.
This isn't a video game. It's not like how many power-ups do you have and like
Yeah.
so
I mean, my first glance through of all of them, me seeing Riva, I was like, and then I was like,
well, let's keep in
it-
mind with Riva too. That's interesting because when we meet Riva, she's not even a Jedi.
Well, see,
Like-
this is what. Well, don't even start down that rabbit hole because
I'm just saying, like, she's not.
Because then you're gonna get people saying, "Well, neither was Ahsoka."
I mean, she was at one point.
So
Ahsoka can say she's not a Jedi anymore, but she was at one point. And
But, like,
kind of will always be.
And who
I'm
knows? Maybe
reading-
she is the only Jedi, and everybody else isn't Jedi. Just saying.
I don't know, but I mean, I'm reading this. This is. I never took Riva like this, but like she wrote it as she was posing as a member of the Inquisitors hunting down Jedi during the course of the season. However, it wasn't until later that the show revealed Riva. Yeah, we knew all that. She was one of the only survivors of the attack and soon became an Inquisitor just because she wanted to gain Vader's trust and eventually get revenge.
I don't think I ever saw it as her like acting or undercover.
That's my thing. Like,
yeah,
she definitely was chopping people's body parts off for fun.
She was unbalanced. She had so much hate and anger that it led her to working for the person that she wanted to destroy and carrying out his biddings. So
yeah, the way they wrote this just made it seem like she was a Jedi the whole time. And I mean,
again though, like going back to the idea of like everyone's definition is different, right? That's how she took it. She took the character as her being undercover and essentially using that ability to get to what she wants. Most people didn't take it that way, but that is her feeling an opinion on it. So in her eyes, she can rank Riva there.
Well, I like to think that for Riva, you could almost say that her power comes from her story as a whole, for what we know it as right now. Her ability to do the right thing in the end and live. And so, like, she ended up making the right choice in the end. And hopefully, if we continue to see her story play out, we'll see what that looks like for her and how she can kind of start to heal herself and become a better Jedi, maybe. And I
just thought of
Obi-Wan
someone
helps her.
I just thought of some. Well, I mean, it did come out today. I mean, they obviously everyone runs with the quote, but Ewan McGregor did say he's like, I would love to do a season 2. You know, like let's make it happen. I just thought of a name that wasn't on the list whatsoever, but Quinlan Voss. He's got some ability. Like he's got some very different abilities as far as a Jedi go too.
If this woman's making the list, then my girl should be on there. If we're going off of this list,
Asajj?
This woman's idea.
I mean,
hey, if
she
Riva
was at least a former.
She was trained as a Jedi.
Asajj?
Excuse me.
Really?
Wasn't she?
I mean, Dooku trained her.
I could be wrong.
She was a Padawan basically.
Maybe I'm just forgetting that Clone Wars arc, or maybe it was in a book or something. Okay, real quick, I want to bring up some comments here. This is an interesting one. Sean brought up Kanan Jarrus. Yeah. He's not only ranked low, but he's also ranked, and it again all based on perception, but he's ranked below both Ahsoka and Ezra. This article has Ezra above him.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
And look, Ezra's strong and Ezra's powerful, but I'm sorry, this spoiler alert for Star Wars Rebels. Anybody hasn't watched it? Spoiler. I'll wave my hands when I'm done. Kanan's death scene puts him over the top of many Jedi for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like that scene alone is so strong, and the dude went 2 years fighting blind. Come on.
The Force literally gave him back his sight to see Hera one more time before he
like
sacrificed himself.
That's a pretty big deal. So
I want a Kanan lightsaber.
His lightsaber's dope. Andy says she was trained by a Jedi. Okay.
Kai Narek was who trained her to be. So she was a Padawan.
So she was a youngling at one point and then a Padawan. Interesting. Okay. I didn't know that.
Then she's top 10 for me then.
Okay, that's fair, Brian. But for this woman writing the article, how would she know that? How would she know that?
I'm sorry. How is she going to know about...
Well, for all we know, this could have been an in-office
Jyn
poll.
Altis and Drake Logan. Get out of here.
There are a few more Legends people on here, but I'm surprised. If we're gonna throw Legends into the mix, where's Starkiller?
Yeah, Starkiller is a big deal. And
Mara
Jade.
Powerful.
Mara Jade. Mara Jade. Like, there's a couple characters right there.
Yeah.
It's definitely an interesting point of view. To rank.
We could go on and on if you want to talk High Republic, Jedi, Avar Chris. Come on.
I love Avar Chris so much.
Sifo-Dyas, by the way, too.
Yeah, but we didn't really. We saw Sifo-Dyas like one scene, by the way. Like
that's what I'm saying. And Jocasta knew in her comic book.
He had the gift of sight, which is why they're saying in this article, because of his gift of sight, like foresight, that is his power. But again, it's like quantifying power for a Jedi is really hard to do.
Oh, Sebastian has a fantastic point. Where the hell is this dude if we're including Legends? Revan.
This woman
like,
clearly
what?
didn't
Revan's like top 5. I'm sorry. Like
Jake, the woman clearly hasn't played any of the video games.
No, I she might have, but like again.
Well, but none of the video game characters are in this. Have you noticed? Cal's not in this.
Yeah, where's Cal?
Because then Revan, it becomes like way too many people to choose from.
Yeah.
I get the reason why some people want to write articles like this and make lists like that. It's just fun. But like when you really break it down like we are, it becomes just nonsense.
Not to mention you waded your foot into a dangerously toxic fandom at certain points.
Did Alex see this at all?
He did.
And then he went to the bathroom and used it as toilet paper.
He was like, I don't even want to go there. He does not like talking about ranking.
I am curious though, not just ranking, who he would say is the most powerful Jedi. Just the number one. I don't care about the list.
I think he probably agrees with Yoda.
I mean,
you're gonna quantify it.
Yeah, Yoda is hard to beat. I think Anakin is hard to beat in some people's argument as well. There's a couple in there that you could probably throw, but I mean, Luke with what he did in The Last Jedi obviously shoots him up the list. If he didn't have that moment, there's an argument for him to be pretty low. I don't know, man. I mean, it's
Zach's asking about Dooku. He's not on the list, and he should probably be there.
Yeah, he should be on the list. That's a good call as well. I wanted to bring up this comment. Where'd it go? From Francisco. Yeah, Rey should be number 1. She had Force Lightning and Force Pull at the same time.
I'm out of curiosity between the three of us. Would anyone put Rey in the top 3?
Not top 3. I'd put her in the top 10.
I don't think I'd even have her in top 5.
I'd put her in the top 10. I wouldn't put her in the top 5.
Top 10, yeah.
I feel like we haven't seen enough of her to know.
I would say top 5. Yeah.
I mean, what she did in The Rise of Skywalker, for just leaving the movie aspect out of it, but the character of Rey,
she is all the Jedi,
powerful.
Guys.
Like,
I feel like
she's all of them. She is literally all of them.
Yeah, because they're all dead.
Look, see, Zach said technically Rey should be number 1 because she is all the Jedi.
Also, Palpatine could be on this list before
He could
turned.
be. He could be.
Bad, but like, I guess, when did that happen?
Yeah, but Sean, did she do it alone?
No, she had her BFF.
That's what I'm saying.
She had BFFs.
She would probably be around like 6 for me, like just right outside it.
Let's just make a list of all the Jedi that we hear speak at the end of Rise of Skywalker, and that'll be our top 10.
You should know the whole entire quote by heart at this point.
Oh,
Should
God.
I though?
Where's Zach?
I mean,
Zach
to be
Paquette
fair,
knows it by heart.
they threw some random names in that last scene. So that would be a very interesting list if we did do
Luminara is in it, so
Luminara is in it.
Yeah.
No Kid Fisto though, Zach. No Kid
is-
Fisto.
So is Ayla Sakura. So
Yeah, she is in there. Yeah, it'd be a very interesting list.
Zach knows it by heart because I trained it and trained him, and it's just so engraved in his. Oh no.
But like a lot of the top 10 are like people, Jedi that were like in the council, and it's like, yeah, that's an easy way to just put them in the top rankings. But then you think the whole point of the prequels was to show you how all of these Jedi let their minds be clouded
Yeah.
in the end, and like, so that
one Sith was able to do it to all of them.
Yeah. So it's really hard to figure out how to even go about ranking something like this.
And so we're just as confused as you are by the list.
So this is not to say, I mean, everyone has their opinion, but I felt like this was just absolute shade towards Barriss Offee, the way that she wrote this. Barriss Offee was such a disappointment. I was like, and then I read it, and then she finishes it off by saying, "Why couldn't Star Wars let fans keep one cool and level-headed apprentice?" I'm just like,
Luminara was kind of mean. There was that episode where Barriss and Ahsoka get stuck underground, like after an explosion or something, and Luminara's like, "Well, sometimes you just gotta let them die." She was like, "You gotta learn to let go," and Anakin's like, "No, we're saving them."
Yeah.
Since we do have a little over 30 people watching, I just want to pose the question while we kind of whether we wrap up here or continue talking. Who would be, if in your definition, you don't have to explain your definition, but just put the name, who would be your number one most powerful Jedi in all of Star Wars? It can be anybody, obviously. I would just love to see the names flowing in the comments to who you think would be the most powerful. There's been a couple in here, obviously, but put it in there. We could talk about some, maybe some that were left off. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yaddle goes up there. Yaddle's my number.
Where is Yaddle on here? Oh, she's
the
low.
very bottom.
She's on the list.
She is low.
This came out
she's
updated September
number 26.
4th. Was this before or after Tales of the Jedi came out?
I think Tales was after.
Yeah. So since then, we finally got a better look at Yaddle and how she actually died. And I don't know, a lot of people's opinions about Yaddle changed after that.
I mean, it changed for me for sure. Absolutely.
Ooh, Porter Engle is a good one. Yeah, got to get some High Republic Jedi on there.
I mean, hell, you can just do an entire High Republic ranking on its own.
Yeah.
Although those characters are knocked off pretty
Coleman
quickly.
Kaj. There you go. Coleman Kaj, who is on the list, I believe. No, he's not on the list.
Coleman Trebor is on there.
Coleman Trevor's on the list. Yeah.
Why?
I mean,
He
we
goes
saw him
out
for
like
like 5
such a punk.
seconds. Yeah.
Stop it.
Avar,
baby
maybe Porter
dinosaur.
Engle. Revan and Luke Skywalker. Pablo Hidalgo.
I do think he has a Jedi named after him, but I don't remember what it is.
Ooh, interesting. I might be mispronouncing this, but Oppo Rancisis?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, just making sure.
It's like the crazy snake looking guy with the awful hair.
Oh, okay.
So basically, Zach's favorite and qualification is just crazy hair.
Well, he did just say, I think realistically, Anakin or Rey should be number one. Interesting. Okay.
I mean, yeah, if I keep thinking about that Mortis arc, and so that makes me want to say Anakin. If we're just talking power,
I would put Anakin number one. Based on pure power, I would put Anakin as number one. Because and it's hard, it's just not fair to use, but I can't help but also think of what comes after when he turns into Vader, and like when his power is almost like unlocked, per se. Yeah, I think Anakin can overtake pretty much anybody on the list. Yoda's would be an interesting one, like at their heights, obviously, but I would probably put Anakin if we're basing it off of power.
See, Yoda takes a fat hit for me because, like, he's supposed to be this just, like, everyone's always talking like he's the greatest and blah, blah, blah. This guy was just as blind to everything that was going on as anybody else. So to me, like, if he would have sniffed that ish out early and, like, maybe it just kept going, then I'd have a different story. But he figured it out just as fast as everyone else did. So to me, that kind of is a knock for him. Just because you live 900 years doesn't make you more powerful, because you got the rug pulled out from under you just as badly as everyone else.
I think if you asked any of the other Jedi like this question and their answer was Yoda, it would be because like they would say, oh, he's the most disciplined, and he's been that way for so long. But that's part of the reason why he was blind to it himself. And like I think Yoda, Force Ghost Yoda in The Last Jedi would say as much. Like, he would be like, I was not as well-rounded as I should have been, and I should have, thought a little differently. Because you can't just be purely disciplined and that make you a good Jedi either.
Am I mistaken?
Look at how much fun these High Republic ones are doing, and they're banging left and right, so they're fine.
Am I mistaken? And I haven't watched it in a long time, but the season 6 of Clone Wars has a lot to do with Yoda kind of like almost figuring out that something's going to happen, right? Like that things are about to be blown up and dark times are coming. I know like the whole like he travels to oh my god, why am I forgetting the name? Not Moorband or Korriban, whatever they call it in canon, but
yeah, we haven't gotten to these episodes yet in our rewatch.
Yeah, I just remember like some scenes of him almost like kind of figuring out that something is going to happen. He's talking to Force ghosts or evil Force ghosts, and not saying like Brian that it's helping the conversation like opposite of you, but that he was the one that was kind of per se like slightly on the path of, if he would had more time or started earlier, he maybe would have figured something out.
I will fight you with that on the fact that Qui-Gon figured it out quicker than he did.
Yeah, that's what Andy was saying. Like,
the
whole thing with Qui-Gon figuring out how to like retain himself. If you read Qui-Gon's story and from a certain point of view, you can get a little bit of a better grasp on that.
Yeah, but Qui-Gon kind of knew this stuff was going on even before episode 1, did he not?
Well, yeah, he never agreed to be part of the council because I think he had his intuition saying like, I don't know if that's the best place for me.
Yeah, he didn't like the way that the council was operating per se. Like he didn't agree with the decisions that were being made. Not so much. I don't think he like was feeling that something was going to happen. Because I mean, obviously, like he believed Anakin was the chosen one, right? Like,
yeah, that's another thing. Like Qui-Gon was really into the prophecies and the idea that the Jedi are reading into these prophecies and saying they're real and choosing someone like Anakin to be the chosen one. Like, nah.
Gordon, this made me laugh. Yoda saying that failure is the greatest teacher. I mean, yes, but literally everyone died because of it. Like, there was no one left. Like, there's failure and then there's catastrophic failure, and that one's
but also remember, we're seeing that Yoda's is essentially going to go through it twice with everything with the High Republic and then Order 66. So the dude at that point's like, we lose some Jedi, we learn something, we move on with our lives.
Yeah, well, he did it with the High Republic, and clearly he didn't learn his lesson enough because it happened again. So,
well, third time's a charm. High Republic was number 1. Order 66 was number 2. Whatever happens next is the charm, Brian.
Everyone's already dead, and he's trying to help Rey.
Brian, if just putting it out there, who would you rank at number 1? Like, honestly, out of all the Jedi, looking at the list, maybe someone who's not on it, who would you put at number 1?
If you gave Thrawn a lightsaber, he'd be number 1.
That's not
a Jedi.
Yeah. That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
Honestly, it's really hard not to go Anakin for me. Because when I see the word powerful, he would be the number 1. If I was going just literal overall, if you said, give me someone, here's the word Jedi. I need you to put one picture underneath it, and this is the perfect representation. I'd pick Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was saying about being well-rounded, I think all of her episodes in the Clone Wars, we see her being taught by all these different Jedi. It's not like she's obviously Anakin's Padawan, but she learns all these lessons from everyone there, and like I think that makes her a lot more well-rounded, which is why she leaves. She's like, nah, this ain't for me.
Yeah.
Vapion, are you talking about Luke? Or are you talking about Luke?
Oh, Luke's clone.
Luke
in Legends is on another level, Vapion. Yes, he is.
No, but I'm talking about Luke.
I know, but Vapion's asking about just Luke. He's just asking about Luke. All right, Molly, I'm going to ask you the same question, but I want to get to our super chat real quick from Francis. Thank you, Francisco. Appreciate it. Did Qui-Gon Jinn ever know that his ex-master Dooku turned to the dark side?
He's like, I'm dead. I don't give a shit anymore.
Well, I'm sure he learned as a Force ghost. He had to have, right? through
the Force, he probably knew or sensed
once he passed on, for sure. He had to have. Like maybe he was watching Dooku all along, but he couldn't obviously come into contact with him because Dooku was he went dark. Because Qui-Gon was dead at that point.
Because Qui-Gon was just sitting there, invisible Force ghost, when he got his head chopped off and was like, dumbass. He comes over to the Force, just like, you're an idiot. I'm like, you deserve that one.
All right, Molly, same question to you. And you can do what Brian did. You can pick most powerful and maybe the best representation of a Jedi, but what would be your picks?
If I had to pick, which I don't like having to rank stuff like this, but if I had to pick, for me, I'm saying Rey. I think going forward, after what we saw in The Rise of Skywalker, she's my pick for number 1.
I mean, she gets bumped up on my list just because she has a yellow lightsaber.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you can't argue against her. She did a lot of things very quickly too. Like things just came to her pretty natural over a 3-movie span, faster than any character we've met before. She learned faster than Luke. You know, obviously time difference is it's a thing, but
even Luke said, I've only seen this power once before, this raw power once before.
Yeah, it's a big deal. There's a lot of talk recently about her returning, and she obviously has a big movie coming out, or not like a big movie, but she apparently She's very good in it. And she basically said when someone asked her, I would take a phone call. Someone call me.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love that. I feel like all of the sequel people are like, sure, we'll do it again, but you better plan your crap out and it better be good this time. Like, I'm not coming back for some hoopla.
honestly, I think the only person that would come back at this point is Daisy Ridley. I don't see Oscar Isaac come back or John Boyega.
John Boyega would come back if you put a lightsaber in his hand.
Nah, I don't want that personally.
You cut him a big enough check.
Yeah, maybe.
Harrison Ford came back, even though he said several times that he wasn't going
just to kill Han Solo, though. That's the only reason.
He came back because he finally got to kill him.
He just got to kill him. That was it. J.J. Abrams knew. He's like, he went into that meeting not to write a check, but he wrote down on a piece of paper, "We're killing Han." Yes, sign me up.
Like you said, Brian, I think you're onto something where I think with the right story, if John Boyega read a story that made the character Finn happy, he might come back.
It is also hard to think of a Rey story without Finn because of like how connected they were in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah,
I could see Oscar Isaac coming back if you gave him the starring role of his own movie, doing some type of like
Rogue Squadron,
something like that. If he was like the one of literally like in the vein, let's just, if we're gonna go for comparison's sake, in the vein of like a Rogue One type situation, where it's like that whole type of deal. Not, I don't think he would ever come back for like an episode, whatever. I think he would do a spinoff if he was like the lead and it was kind of run off of his character. But you're very much right in it's kind of hard to do. Like I would be very confused of a singular John Boyega Finn.
Well, I mean, on it, you could do a Finn and Poe story.
Only if they're boyfriends.
Oh, they have to be boyfriends.
Yeah, I mean their relationship obviously flourished a lot more when it came to the Rise of Skywalker. Like it was kind of set up in The Last Jedi, but then the Rise of Skywalker really kind of took off. Just because in my like headcanon, if I were to pick up after the Rise of Skywalker, I see Finn and Poe staying together in some form of the Resistance or whatever, and Rey going off and doing her Jedi thing, learning, teaching, growing, whatever. I don't see Finn on that track with her, but I could be wrong.
Well, if the Lego stuff has any weight in this decision, she is training him. If that's canon,
and they're boyfriends. Implied.
Heavily, I would say yes, heavily implied, but not explicitly implied. And that's something that Oscar Isaac and John Boyega, they were mad about it. They were like, come on, everyone wants this. And by everyone, I don't mean everyone, but everyone who is right.
Everyone who gets it. Yeah. Wants it. Yeah.
Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing Rey kind of just like toe that line. Oh, you're a cute girl. Oh, you're a cute guy. Like flirt that line a little bit. She has a yellow lightsaber. She can do whatever she wants.
Maybe that's how you bring Mara Jade into it. It's not Luke, but it's Rey and Mara.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? That would be amazing.
Yeah, baby. There it is. It's Lucasfilm.
Oh,
sign us up. Let's go.
God. Give me that.
This is a fan fiction waiting to happen.
Rey and Mara Jade. Rey and Mara. Everyone has always talked about like, well, Luke isn't alive anymore. How are you going to do Mara Jade? Boom. There you go.
I mean, yeah, they could bring her in at any point and just finagle the story to make it work. But do they want to take her character and change it that much?
Yes.
Do they want her so badly that they're going to completely change everything?
Yeah.
Give her the purple
I mean,
lightsaber with the yellow lightsaber.
I would
Ooh.
personally be okay changing it because I have the legend stories. Like I have those. I don't need an exact representation on screen of what happened in Legends, but I also get people who are like, no, like I would love to see that Mara Jade or at least a similar story play out on screen. I see both sides. I would be okay if they did change it just to get the character of Mara Jade in some capacity.
Ugh, I need
Because then you
this
can throw
so-
Karen Gillan and Daisy Ridley together.
Ooh.
Oh God. You're
I'm
never
just
gonna
throwing. I'm throwing all
You would
out
never
right now.
get Jill and Molly to leave the theater. Play it again. Rewind it.
Roll it again.
Oh God, that cosplay between you and Jill would be phenomenal. Ugh,
I'm here for it.
I need it now. Yes.
That's a valid ship.
Everyone, make sure that I get credit for that.
I'm gonna tweet it as if it's my own when we're done with this.
What? That's not fair.
Oh God, that is so good. Like, can you imagine if we're just like watching something with Ray, and then some chick comes along and she's like, "Who are you?"
No, you know what I was thinking
I'm
of?
Mara Jade, and you're just like, "What?"
No, well, so that can happen. That can happen, obviously, but we're just going down the path of like ideas here. But I saw it as almost like a Winter Soldier-esque, where she's kind of been frozen, or she's in some type of like Palpatine hidden base somewhere, and Rey comes across her, and she doesn't know who she is.
Yeah.
Like,
I want her.
That was just where my head went personally.
I want
It's
her coming out
possible.
of. I want her coming out of. All right, here we go. We're going to fan fiction stuff. I want her to be some. Not even Jedi, just someone from the Outer Rim. She's just been out there, hasn't been involved with anything of the Empire because it didn't reach that far. All right. She has a lightsaber or whatever. She has her own thing because she did it on her own. Steps foot into inner rim? I don't know what you'd call it. Whatever
Inner
the
rim.
normal, yeah. And
Core
all of a sudden,
planet.
you get Ray like, I haven't felt this presence before.
Oh my God.
What is this? Goes off, finds Mara Jade, and they're just like, "Oh, who are you?" And then they can start kissing, and then they become best friends. And then
I need two dolls to like put together.
yeah.
Where are all the Funkos? Just put the Funkos
Yeah,
together.
like this, and then they're like smush, 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 and then some villain comes. Who wants
So it's mostly a love story with a villain on the
Basically.
side.
rom-com?
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Why
no.
not?
Who could be the bad guy for that?
You could pull so many Legends characters if you wanted to, or
See, I
create
don't
someone
know.
new. Like you can create someone completely brand new.
So my
Pizza the Hut.
Legends. No, my Legends knowledge is
Molly, who voices Pizza the Hut?
minimal.
Oh, Dom DeLuise.
There you go.
I know it now.
Star Wars Legends villain.
Here we go.
All
The
right,
villain
let's see.
will
Here we
be
go. Okay.
Luke's clone, He'll
Oh my
come-
God.
and get pissed because he somehow is like, Mara Jade was supposed to be mine, and that's your villain.
Luke, played by Sebastian Stan.
Yeah. Why not?
So you have Daisy Ridley,
Uh-huh.
Karen Gillan, and Sebastian Stan as your three leads for this movie.
God, I wish Chase was here. This website is not good for villains of Legends. 10 best Legends villains who aren't canon. Perfect. Who is this? No, not Prince Sizer. He's alive.
Prince Shizor.
Shizor, sorry, my bad. Well, he might be coming. That space wizard from the Thrawn stuff.
Oh, the old man.
Yeah,
Sabayoth.
Joris or whatever.
Joris Sabayoth.
Darth Cadus.
Look, we're selling people. It said Star Wars rom-com. Yeah. Star Wars rom-com with action.
I would love a Star Wars rom-com.
Yeah. Think of, oh my God, in the vein of RRR.
Yes, Sean, that one.
Oh,
I just didn't want to butcher his name and someone come after me.
This would actually be RRR because like Rey and Mara Jade would be the two leads.
Yeah,
just
100%. It's RRR. It's RRR. 100% it is. They meet up, right? And then maybe they have a fight in the middle of a movie and then they come back together and they defeat the bad guy.
Sure.
Boom.
I would love to see someone in the vein of Treya, like that old woman that is just kind of like, you're like, oh, this is a good guy. And then all of a sudden turns out bad and you're just like, shit. Like that. Yeah. Kind of old lady bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're at this point, we've thrown out so many ideas that like Lucasfilm could be set for the next 10 years. It's ridiculous. The amount of things that we've pumped out at this point. Pod racers. I was gonna say podcasters. Pod racers. We just set up your next 3 sequel trilogy. What else did we come up with, Jake? And by we, I mean you.
You don't want the amount of hate that would come after you if all of our ideas that we've talked about got made. Like, we would be run off the internet.
I don't give a crap because I'm getting what I want. Dr. Afra, I want Lesbos in space, so I don't care.
Dr. Afra.
Yeah, Dr. Afra.
Okay, maybe Dr. Afra discovers Mara Jade, who is frozen in carbonite.
No, we're not.
Well,
doing
if
this
Dr. Afra discovers Mara Jade, she's gonna go for her and not Rey.
Hey, I'm all for it.
What you thought of some other stuff too? What else have we thought of?
We've thought of
Thrawn has a lightsaber.
Yeah, Thrawn has a lightsaber.
Yeah, give Thrawn a lightsaber. So I'm fine with that.
This has officially become a Star Wars fan fiction podcast, everybody.
The old guy that pours the drink in his head from the holiday special. Yeah, throw him in there.
Okay. I'm trying to think of anything else that we have missed. We don't need Rogue Squadron. Just take one of ours.
Oh, we talked about the Poe series with Finn.
Oh yeah, do Rogue Squadron with Poe. Duh. Let him leave a whole entire thing. That's obvious. Come on. It didn't need to take 3 years. What else do we got in the pipeline? My neighbor is definitely annoyed at how loud I am because his TV's on. Can you hear it?
No.
I don't know. Whatever.
I can't.
Whatever. He's just jealous of my ideas. I don't know. Bring Ben Solo back from the dead. There you go. Oh my God.
No,
Bring Ben Solo back.
No.
And then it's like, and then you get a little love triangle in the vein of like, are you Team Edward or are you Team
Y'all want the Reylos to come after you. I'm not stepping in that.
That's all Brian. I'm not stepping on that. No.
Give me the smoke. I am not afraid of anyone. I have to break up 7th grade girls.
The story of how Kit Fisto faked his death.
No.
Poor Zach.
Yeah, Kit Fisto has, let's just say he has like 5 hearts and lungs and whatever, and just that slash just didn't do anything. He just laid there. It was like,
here you go. Mr. Shu brought up a good idea. Maybe Rey and Mara use the world between worlds and go save Jyn Erso before she dies.
Well, because she was too hot to die.
Yeah.
God.
And then they leave. They were like, Cassian, you're not our type.
Yeah, bye, Cassian. See ya.
Let's see. What else can we do?
No, Brian, I think that's what I think. We want to save some of these ideas for later. So,
I mean, our views are going up since I started saying nonsense. So
your ideas are
they've
too
been
hot.
around the same.
You're running hot.
Too hot to handle. God, I wish Chase was here so that way he could be like, I didn't say I fight 15-year-old girls, and you spelled my last name the way my principal does wrong. Yeah.
I think that's a great way, great spot to end it tonight. We talked a little Star Wars power rankings. We got into a little hardcore fan fiction here on POV tonight. Star Wars fan fiction.
Oh, you know what they should bring back? Let's bring back what was that video game? Where
Knights of the Old Republic?
No. Terrascasi. Where it was basically like Mortal Kombat for Star Wars.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I would love that.
Then we could really test out all of these theories about
that would be awesome. A Star Wars Mortal Kombat?
Masters of Terrascasi, I think it was called.
Sign me up.
It was a fighting game, but it was pretty bad, I think. I've never played it.
Let's see.
But if they remade it, then we could test out all these theories. And we will see that Yaddle is actually
Masters of Terrascasi. Yeah, a PlayStation game.
Yeah.
Wow. 1997. Interesting.
Oh, hi, Nerdy Nightly. It's
so bad.
I've seen it played. I would love to play it because I love fighting games.
Interesting. All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up tonight, everybody. We left the show specifically for Star Wars, and luckily we got into some fan fiction, made the show go a little bit longer tonight, which was nice. But no, look, we talked about that article that came out, Star Wars power rankings, if you will, based on how powerful these Jedi are, and everyone has different opinions and definitions of how to rank or define these characters. Everyone's list is different. We just kind of talked about where they were and maybe where we would rank some. If you missed it up top, go ahead and check that out. And then obviously a little bit later in the show, last like 20 minutes, was all about just throwing some insanely wacky ideas up against the wall and just talking about some possibilities. So,
I think what we all learned from this is that you can take an old article and make a new graphic for it, and then it'll blow up on the internet.
Yes, I'm gonna repost. I should just repost our Mario TikTok that I posted about 2 months ago with a new graphic to see how well it does again.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Or Brian's Daddy Skywalker one with a new graphic just to see how well it does.
Well, I mean, listen, as someone that took Twitter by storm for 24 hours.
Here we go.
Internationally and all over the world. You can literally just throw up some random graphic and that ish will take off if seen by the right people. So by all means, and I've already got one in the pipeline that I'm thinking about doing that has nothing to do with anything we talk about. I just want to see if it's just spreads like wildfire. I'll tell you guys after because you already know it's going to catch fire. But yeah, it's funny how just posting one little thing can piss a whole lot of people off. But look here, we're talking about it. 5 months after it was originally put out?
Oh, I know about that life. I know.
Now you know. Well. Jill, Sean, tell Jill to read my tweet or text that I just sent her. Or is she still out? Is she still at work?
She might just be getting home. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Let's do some quick plugs before we head out. I'll just say quickly, if you're interested, tomorrow night we'll be back for our Last of Us review. We'll be live here on the channel at 5 o'clock Pacific time, 8 o'clock Eastern, reviewing episode 2 of The Last of Us. We had a great time last week doing it. It was very, very informative for me. Can't wait to see what episode 2 has in store. But it's always fun. It's myself, Molly, Brian, Alex was there last week. Hopefully he gets to make an appearance tomorrow as well. And then who knows who else is going to show up? Anybody else?
We just finished our playthrough of the first game again. So now I'm like even more excited for the show.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun. So go and check that out tomorrow. It's at 5 o'clock Pacific. So
we took the fishing lure with Alex, casted that thing out, and
hooked him.
Hooked a little fishy, and we were like, "Oh yeah, here you go, come back in, come talk."
Yeah. He's like, "I might," and then he gets to talking about it, and he's like, "Won't shut up about it."
Molly, where can everybody else find you online if they don't already know?
You can find me at Molly Damon on Twitter. I actually just made a link tree, which I don't know why I never did that before, but that's in my Twitter profile, I think now. Yeah, it is.
You know what you need to do? You know what you need to do?
What?
I've seen people do it all the time. It's hilarious where it's they put like in their link tree, they put like OF and then like the spicy thing, the chili pepper next to it. And then you link it when you click on it, it like links to like either like a Rickroll or something completely random or something like that. You should
I'll have it go to the Blender Dome.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Support my other friends.
Your Feet Finder website, maybe.
We don't need to.
Brian, where can everyone find you?
I don't know. Biavalcino on Twitter and Instagram. Spelt not any of the ways Sean spells them. And Goodreads, come join my book cult, which may or may not turn into fan fiction stuff now. Who knows? Maybe I'll be on Tumblr. Stealing Jake's ideas and becoming famous. And Apocalypse Movies. I don't think we know what we're doing tomorrow.
I do, but I am not saying anything.
Typical.
We're playing a game tomorrow. That's all I'm going to say.
Ooh.
Oh. Nerdy Nightly. Currently, I am reading the second Percy Jackson novel. So, yeah.
Good stuff.
We just talked about random books that typically aren't Star Wars because we were already talking about that one enough.
You can find me Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Qui-Gon Jake, 2 N's, because someone else took it before I did. And that is Liam Neeson himself. Here multiple times a week. We're live on Monday evening, 6 o'clock Pacific. Again, The Last of Us for the next 8 weeks on Tuesdays at 5 o'clock. Check out our Patreon. We are doing Pitch Perfect movie trivia on Thursday. We do bar trivia once a month on our Patreon. It's so much fun. We have so many great people on our Patreon, and we are quizzing them on Pitch Perfect on Thursday. So you might want to check that out. All the links are in the description. Apocalypse Movies with Brian multiple times a week as well. To everyone watching live, appreciate you guys. We had a blast. Gordon, if you are interested in Willow, go check out the review Molly did last week with the Casterly talk.
Yeah. It was more of like a just wrap up talk about how much we loved it kind of thing. But they did reviews on Casterly Talk for every episode. So go check those out.
Yeah, Gordon, if you're interested, they did all that over on that channel. That's Ken Knapsack. I believe, right? That's Ken Knapsack, right? And some co-hosts.
And Alden Diaz. Alden Diaz was kind of running the Willow reviews.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Casterly Talk is maybe the most genius Game of Thrones.
Wait, stop everything, Molly.
I was waiting for you to say
to announce. Actually,
yeah. Well, okay. Brian kept bringing up Chase. We're gonna have.
I was literally trying to throw that bone out there, like someone.
Thank you, Andy.
I was just oblivious, being mad about ranking Jedi in my head. Yeah, happy hours on Saturday, and we're gonna have Chase Hauser on with me and Jill. So yay, that's gonna be so fun. They they do all kinds of stuff. They're on Pink Milk. They are on oh my gosh, Fear Queers, where they talk about horror.
Stop it. Fear Queers is the name of it.
Yes. I've told you about this, Brian.
No, because you probably didn't tell me because I don't like scary stuff. I just like the name.
Well, they're currently watching they're watching Buffy for the first time, and I cannot stop thinking about it. And that's all I want to talk about. So
I'm sure that'll get brought up on Saturday.
I'm sure. So yeah, come hang out.
Happy hour Saturday night.
It'll be a gay old time.
The Gay Jedi
on
YouTube.
Oh my God, yes, that Gay Jedi on YouTube is their channel. So yeah.
We'll be talking about all that on Saturday. It's gonna be a blast. Jill and Molly will be hanging out on Saturday evening.
Gaggle of gays, as I say.
And Chase, who is in our chat constantly, he will be joining the ladies, so that'll be fun. All right, everybody. Again, to everyone watching live who does this every single week, we appreciate you guys. I would love to call every single one of you guys out. We love you guys. We hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Again, Last of Us for you tomorrow, live 5 o'clock Pacific, right here on the channel. If not, have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you guys next week. Bye, guys.